Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Holistic Transformation Podcast brought to you by the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy. I'm your host, Dr. Beverly, and today we dive deep into the subtle vision that awakens beyond the eyes into the realms of the third eye, or the pineal gland, or pineal light, and soul level perception. So let us get started. I will do a share screen so you can see my slides. Okay, looks like they're up. I think last week I learned my lesson not to use full screen because I can't get back in when I jump out. So this week's talk is called Soul Vision and Cellular Light, Awakening Intuition Through the Third Eye. Hold on. Okay, I just needed to clear my throat. All right. So what does that mean? So have you been sensing shifts in your intuition lately? I know mine shifted big time a few days. This is pre-recorded, so it was a few days ago, but wow, what a shift. It was during that eclipse we had. Maybe your dreams are more vivid, or perhaps you're experiencing strange flashes of insight, deja vu. What is that? It's kind of like in the Matrix when the guy saw the cat twice. It's a what did they call it? A glitch in the Matrix. So you may even feel pressure between the brows. It's not your imagination. With this celestial alignment this month, especially, the activating lunar and solar dynamics and Neptune's ongoing influence on your third eye is receiving a natural upgrade. And Neptune is going to go retrograde soon, or it just did. I'm pre-recording. When I recorded this, it wasn't retrograde. Now it is. Saturn's retrograde. Jupiter in Cancer is going retrograde. These big planets are going retrograde. And so it's giving us a time while they slow down, as they're going backwards, to reevaluate what it is that's going on. And it'll be different for everybody because they're in a different house, but they're in the same signs for everyone. Okay, so how will we look at this? We'll look at the anatomy of the third eye, where it's actually located. Most people have it wrong. We'll look at the astrology, the frequency, and the inner eye. We'll look at symptoms of the third eye awakening. We'll look at soul vision versus mental imagination, which is caused by Neptune. And we'll talk about practices to activate the soul vision. Okay, so what is the third eye? Let me just make sure. Oh, yeah, I'm recording. Okay, sometimes technology is hard to deal with. Okay, so the third eye is known as the Ajna Chakra in Vedic tradition. So the third eye correlates to the pineal gland, which is a pea-sized endocrine organ located between the brain's hemispheres. So this here is where some people think it is. This is yin tong. It's an acupuncture point, and it's really good for helping people know what they're supposed to do with their life. I don't know what to do. I don't know what direction to go in, or they're just really upset or have a lot of emotional stuff. To go up one of your thumb widths above and then go in a couple of inches, that's where the pineal gland actually is. So this is the Ajna center up here. Okay. We talked about this last week, and I said you can just go like this if you want to massage it, and just start between the eyebrows and go up and massage both points. That way you get 2 for 1. But if you know where it is and you only want to activate it here, you can go like this. So this little gland on the inside has rods and cones, just like your eyeball does. That's why they call it another eye. Some people believe that we used to have 3 eyes. I leave that to you to decide. But it's actually connected to the crown chakra. So the pineal goes with the crown chakra, not the 6th chakra. and the pituitary goes with the sixth chakra. I know a lot of people reverse that, but when I went to a mystery school, that's how they taught us, and the pineal medically is attached to the crown chakra. And the two glands and chakras act as one. They're very well connected. And so there's a called the optic chiasma between the pituitary and the pineal. So if your crown chakra is not open, you're going to have a lot of trouble opening this chakra. So at the very least, you should be able to get downloads and feel your crown chakra when it's activated. That will help you with your Ajna Chakra. And it also on the outside kind of looks like a pine cone. So when you go to the Vatican, right outside in their little plaza area, they have a huge statue that looks like a pine cone, and that's what it's about. They're talking about the pineal gland. So it is sensitive to light. It regulates melatonin, which is our sleep aid. Some people say it's the seat of the soul. Some people say the soul is in the heart. Some people say it's in the third chakra, which regulates the heart. Some say it's in the Ming Men, not the Ming Men, the Jindan, which is down just below the belly, behind the belly button. So whatever you believe, that's where it is. I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong. Whatever you believe is right for you. So in Egypt and Greece, they said that this is where the soul lives. That would say the soul lives in part of the brain versus in the heart. So, if you're a Pleiadian, I know you're going to disagree with that. A lot of the early Egypt was settled by the Syrians, so they would say the head. Maybe it's both. Maybe it moves because a lot of people, their soul is just below their heart. It's at the third chakra. Some people, their soul has moved up. Some of us, they move their soul all around. My soul, I move. I can move it all over my body. So I don't think there's one answer. So whatever you want to believe, that's your answer. Okay. So the pineal gland contains piezoelectric crystals. So these are crystals that carry electricity. That's what piezoelectric is. There are also piezoelectric devices where when I first learned color puncture, I was not a licensed acupuncture. So I had a piezoelectric device to stimulate points with. And that's what a lot of massage therapists and other people use to stimulate points. I actually gave mine away to a massage therapist when I got licensed because I didn't like it. It stings, and I don't like anything that stings. People already don't like needles. Why would I use something that stings? Today, when people can't tolerate needles, I use a laser, a cold laser on the point. So crystals are capable of transmitting and receiving frequencies. So you can send with your third eye and you can receive. Now, I've never met anyone who told me they could send, but I know my dogs. Now, one of my dogs, she left me in 2023. She was extremely visual, the most of all the dogs I've ever had, and she could transmit whatever she wanted, and I would see it in my field of view. The first time I'm going like this, what is this? And then I realized, wait a minute, it's not really there because I was seeing it with my third eye. She was down there when I looked at her, I went, oh, you want a greenie? Yeah, I want a greenie. Okay, so she was transmitting. So animals can transmit. It's one of the ways we can communicate with animals is they will send us a vision and then we can send it back. I don't typically send it back by visualizing because I use thoughts. So I send the thoughts because I'm very telepathic. So that's another way of transmitting. Does that use the third eye? Maybe. I don't know. I just know when I think of something, they get it. They think of something, I get it. So you can send and receive from the pineal gland. So this makes it a literal antenna for higher consciousness, just like your crown chakra. You can send and receive through your crown chakra, and that's how most people send and receive. Now, if you're auditory, you're sending and receiving this way, through the ears. And if you're visual, it should be pretty easy for you to send and receive. You may not know you're sending. A lot of people don't know they're sending. People transmit all the time. They just don't realize, unless you calm your mind, to receive what others are sending you. Those of us that are super empathic, we receive everything. We receive your thoughts, we receive your emotions and feelings. And sometimes, especially with animals, I receive the images, not so much with humans. I more receive a combination of thoughts and feelings and create the image myself. So this makes it a literal antenna for higher consciousness. So this crystal is blocked with fluoride because it calcifies the gland, which I tell people don't use fluoride, buy non-fluoridated toothpaste. I use a toothpaste that has powder, baking soda, not baking powder, baking soda and charcoal. So the charcoal will decalcify your teeth. You won't need to have your teeth cleaned at the dentist as often because the charcoal will take care of it and it whitens your teeth naturally. And the bicarbonate of soda is a little bit grainy, but in a very soft way, so it polishes your teeth and helps remove plaque. So there are some really good, and it has a mint flavor. So you can buy whatever works for you, and don't use those mouthwashes. They've all got fluoride in them, unless you can find one without fluoride. But I find by using the mint toothpaste, I don't need anything else. And then for water, I distill my water because that's the only way you're going to get the fluoride out. Unless you buy, I have an expensive whole house filter. It gets rid of the chlorine, but I don't know if it gets rid of all the fluoride. So I take my water and distill it because I don't drink my shower water, but I do drink tap water. But it doesn't seem to bother my animals, and it doesn't seem to bother my plants that I water with it. But I just don't take a chance with me. I distill everything and then I hydrogenate it. I demagnetize it and then hydrogenate it. So do what you need to do so that you feel healthy. Whatever you put in your mouth, including liquids, affects your body, including your glands. And fluoride doesn't just calcify the pineal gland, it calcifies all your glands. So if you're diabetic, it's calcifying your pancreas. If you have a lot of stress and you don't deal with it very well, your adrenals may have been calcified. So, and your thyroid may have been calcified, which is why you have low thyroid. So just be mindful of fluoride in everything you eat and drink and any products that you use. So the astrology for this week is Neptune's potent energy and Pisces influence. So Neptune and Saturn are next to each other in Pisces. So this increases your psychic perception, your dream life, which is what Neptune's all about, your dreams and soul level processing. So those dreams could be delusions, or they could be your dream, like, oh, this is what I want to be. I want to manifest this or create that or whatever. So it could be a real dream, like this is what I want from life or to create in life, or it could be a delusion. Oh, look, I'm so great. I'm so fantastic. Obviously, anytime it's I-centered, it's delusional. Okay. None of this is perfect. So combined with post-eclipse integration, which we had in September, October, and recent water trine activity, which was Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, it creates a window for awakening dormant spiritual sight. So last week we talked about getting rid of these dormant, hidden shadow emotions, and we shed all that last week. That opened the door for this week's energy to awaken our spiritual intuition and maybe a clearer idea of our soul path and soul purpose. And for some of us, I know for me, my soul purpose is changing. It changes when you turn around 40. So when you're a kid, it's one thing, and then as you're an adult, it changes. And when you turn 40, it changes again. And now I'm getting old enough, it's changing again. So the Schumann resonance spikes those frequency surges that sync our brains to theta, alpha, delta, and gamma states. I left out the delta, sorry. These brain waves are directly associated with intuitive download, visionary dreaming, and aha moments. So when you're dreaming, REM sleep is theta. But when you become a lucid dreamer, you're in delta. Okay. So most people, when they're in delta, they're gone. They're just gone. But when you're a lucid dreamer, you're there in delta. Alpha, your eyes, for most people, your eyes are closed, and beta, your eyes are open, and gamma is higher than beta. And when you reach gamma states in the brain, along with high delta, so you don't have just one state. You're not in all alpha, all delta, all theta. You have a mix. So when you have that mix of gamma as well, you're extremely alert, even though the body is now asleep. And that's when you can do astral travel. You can explore the universe, which is lots of fun. You can do a soul journey and go visit other people or other interdimensional beings. You can move between dimensions. The dimensions are horizontal, they're parallel to each other, whereas densities are vertical. They're hierarchical, and there's only 11 densities. Okay, science has proven that. I've learned that in every mystery school I've ever been in. There's 11 densities. But some people say, oh, there's hundreds of densities. There's hundreds of dimensions, potentially. There's unlimited numbers of dimensions. Those are horizontal. Vertical, there's 11. So these brain waves are directly associated with intuitive downloads, visionary dreaming, and aha moments. I think I just said that. Sorry, repeated myself again. So as the third eye begins to activate, I get the B and the C backwards. So it activates, or it will recalibrate. And you might experience some of the following issues during that recalibration. One is tingling or pressure between the brows, sensitivity to light or changes in sleep patterns. Excuse me. You may have increased synchronicity and intuitive nudges. So things just happen and you go, oh, that was like, how come? I was just thinking of that. And then they called, or I went here and, oh, I just immediately found a parking spot in the middle of a full lot. Or you're thinking of someone and you need to know an answer, and someone walks up to you and gives you the answer out of nowhere. Or when we had bookstores and I used to visit bookstores, book would fall off the shelf and open to the page I needed. Today, that can happen with the books on my shelves, but mostly it happens on YouTube. All of a sudden, somebody I don't subscribe to will just pop up, and it'll be exactly the answer I was looking for. So there's many, many ways you can get your questions answered, or things can happen in your life, and they call that synchronicity. And an intuitive nudge. I know one time I was eating lunch and all of a sudden it just came through, blah, blah, blah. And I always keep a journal on my table in case things like that happen, which they do. And I wrote it down. And then it was the topic of one of my podcasts about a month and a half ago. So you never know when you're going to have and something come through for you. And it's going to either change what you do, change a class you give, tell you what you need to do to fix something or to help someone. It just comes through all of a sudden. And it's important to write it down, because otherwise your mind moves on and you forget it. You may have vivid dreams or lucid dreaming. I've been a lucid dreamer since the 90s. And in September and October, I had dreams, but I couldn't remember them. I went through a period where the energy was so messy. It was like, whoa, what is going on? But after last week's changes, boom, all of a sudden I'm lucid dreaming and remembering them again. So this may happen to you as well, because this is the energy we're going through right now. So there's also emotional surges that's been going on for months now. That's not new. But it's more unconscious material surfacing. It could be from this life, it could be from a past life, it could be from ancestral, and you do reincarnate. Most of you have been here before, so it might have been that family lineage as ancestral lineage. So you have multiple ancestral lineages. Now, a lot of people incarnate with the same family groups. I tend not to. Um, my current group, I was with individuals, but in different lifetimes, not together, except for one. I was with my ex-husband and my daughter. We were together in one lifetime, and we had some old karma to get rid of. And once I woke up, I was able to clear that, and I didn't need to stay married anymore. So you may have that going on in your life and say, why is this happening? I don't understand. It might be ancestral. It might not be from this life. That's why remembering your past lives becomes important after a while, so that you know how to clear all that and move on. So not all inner visions have the same purpose. Mental imagery can be shaped by memories or fantasy. We talked about that earlier. But soul vision arises as spontaneous knowing. That's when you just know something and people go, how can you know that? You can't know that. I get that all the time. Well, somehow I do, and I was right. And they go, oh, you're right. I don't understand. It happens. And as more and more of us wake up, that's going to happen more and more often. People can no longer lie to us. That's the energy we're moving into for the next 2 years. We will see through the lies. That's why the energy is about everything being revealed. They can't hide it from us anymore. So this will be accompanied by deep calm, clarity, or resonance. You just know. So because you know, you don't get upset, you don't get triggered. That's why you stay calm. Oh, yeah, this isn't new. This has been going on for a long time. Often it's symbolic, multi-dimensional, and hard to explain. So some of us sometimes jump dimensions. We go back and forth. I always ask that I'm on the dimensions. It's the highest level of my vibration, and I do the highest good. But sometimes we slip and we jump back down, and then we say, okay, I've dropped. I need to bring myself back up. And you go back up. So we can move back and forth between different dimensions. And when we do, we can clean things up while we're there, and it ripples back. And then we move back to the highest level. And sometimes those other dimensions just go away. They're not needed anymore because the decision changed. And now everything is in your highest good. I know that sounds weird, but science has proven that that's true. Okay, so there's a lot of woo that science is now proving. Okay, so one way to tell the difference, is this a vision, an inner vision, or is it your purpose, or is it a daydream? Soul vision is grounded in stillness. It arrives unbidden, so you don't ask for it, it just shows up. While ego imagery is often effortful, linear, and driven by desire or fear. So are you seeing a story, or are you just suddenly knowing the whole picture all at once? You're seeing a story, your ego is probably creating it, and it's usually linear. Da, 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 da. Oh, I was here and I was doing that, and it's just you're just moving forward. Whereas when you know something, it just comes through and you suddenly know it. So it's not like a daydream. A daydream is an escape from being in the now. So there's two ways to escape the now: daydreaming and worry. Worry is in the future and creating a negative future for yourself. Daydreaming could be said to be trying to create a new future for yourself, but it's not purposeful. You didn't say, okay, I'm going to create this future and here's what I want it to look like. you're just going with whatever comes up by your ego. And if you're ruminating over the past, oh, so and so did this, blah, 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 that's living in the past. When you live in the present, there's just the now. Whatever happened in the past is done. It's done. Now, can you change past? Yes, that's a different discussion, and we talked about that on the previous slide. Can you change your future? Yes, we just talked about that. But for now, you want to be in the moment and calm, and that's when these quote, unbidden soul visions come through, especially during meditation or at night while you're sleeping, because that's when you're the most still, is when you're sleeping or when you're in meditative state. That's why it helps to learn how to be connected to source, or calm and untriggered through most of your day. We're all human, we all get triggered, but you try most of the day to stay not triggered, to be calm, to be still, and that way things can come through for you when you need them. And you don't even have to ask, they just come through. Although when I go to bed at night, I do say, hey, any downloads you want to give me, I'm open. And I do get downloads at night, and that's usually when I have a lucid dream that I remember. Okay. And stay out of fear and hate and anger and all those types of emotions bring down your frequency and your energy, and it dims your light. So tools you can use to deepen your cellular and soul level seeing. So you can do nostril breathing. So advanced breathing techniques teach you this. I'm just going to very briefly, let me do a stop share real quick. So you inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So what you're doing there is you're balancing the left and the right. Let me go back into screen share. Okay, so that energizes the pineal gland and it balances your hemispheres. The other thing you can do, oh, I should have stayed out. Okay, one more time. All right. So some of the crystals you can use would be amethyst. Amethyst is very powerful. This is a fairly big one. Bigger than this, it's probably in a form of a geode. Amethyst is an awesome, I'm pretty sure all of you know what amethyst is. You can use fluorite. So last week I showed you this fluorite. But I did find my big fluorite. So this is a big green one that I have. And it's got some dark spots in it, and darker green and then lighter green and some areas that look kind of white, but I don't think they're actually white. They're just showing up as white on the screen. And then there's lapis. So I showed you lapis last week. It's this dark blue color, and it can have either silver or gold flecks in it. This one has a combination of both. Another crystal that's not listed there is where to go? Here it is. This is called purple or pink fluorite. Fluorite. No, purple or pink gabbro, and it will clear all your chakra centers. So that would work very nicely up here as well. But it's not a well-known stone, and it almost never needs to be cleaned. It's kind of like selenite, which is a white fibrous kind of stone, which also clears your chakras and rarely needs to be cleaned. And most people know what selenite is, and most people don't. And when I go to gem shows, I might find one table that has some of these, not this big. I think I got this off Etsy. Not everybody carries it. Okay, let's go back to, oh, you know what? I'm not going to do a share screen. Stop. Okay, hopefully you can see me. Maybe I better do a share screen sometimes this Zoom doesn't work. So I don't know if I was back or not. We'll talk about the essential oils. You just won't be able to see them up close. So frankincense we talked about last week. You can just sniff it right out of the bottle, or you can diffuse it into the room. But if you want to put it on your Ajna center, you cannot use it, frankincense or sandalwood, on the Ajna center. Sandalwood, I don't carry as an essential oil. I use it as what do you call it? Incense. So I'll just burn the incense, and you can just blow the smoke onto your forehead. If you want to use frankincense, you need to dilute it. So some of the oils that are good for your face. So you want to use an oil that you can use on your face, because this is on your forehead. Jojoba would be number one. It's the best oil for your face. Argan is great for the skin. Liquid coconut oil is called unfractionated coconut oil. Or you might have in your kitchen, you might have MCT oil. It's the same thing. So you'd put just a few drops of that in the palm of your hand, and then put just one drop of frankincense or sandalwood, sort of mix it up with the other finger, and then you can massage it. And if you want to, you can go like this between the third eye and the Ajna center, or you can just work on the Ajna center on your forehead. You can also, you may have almond oil in the kitchen. You can also use almond oil. These two are argan, coconut oil, and almond oil are good for the skin, and you can use them on the face, but jojoba is one of the best for the face. Okay. Tools to deepen your cellular soul level seeing continued. So dark room meditation. So when you're in a room where the lights are dim or it's dark, or you wear like a sleep pad over your eyes, or you can get those eye meditation socks that are full of seeds or rice or something, and put those over your eyes. You have to lay down to use that one. So if you want to sit up, you'd have to use something else, or just turn the lights off and light a candle so you have low light. This will help you enhance your perception. Like when people come in my office and I want to know where's their soul, I will keep the lights in my treatment room dim. So the overhead lights would be off, and I would have a lamp on the other side of a torche, a lamp that shines up at the ceiling. So I would have a torche lamp, so that when it's on, the light can come down to where we are, but it's very dim. Now I can see their soul, I can see their aura, I can see their chakras. But when it's bright light, you really can't see it unless they have a really dark shadow that you're seeing. Some people's soul is pretty dark. It depends on how much light they're emitting. If they're not emitting a lot of light, then their soul, when it's out of their body, is a darker color. When they emit a lot of light and their soul's out of the body, they emit the light, and then you can't see it when the room is bright light. But when sorry, I'm mixing up my words. When the room is dim, you will see even the bright lights. So castor oil packs on the forehead is an old yogic technique for decalcifying the pineal. And neuro-spiritual journey combines somatic, which is the body sensations, with insights to bridge the body and the spirit. So in closing, it's energetic, emotional, cellular, ancestral, and cosmic as we move deeper into this age of light, learning to trust what our soul sees. Even if our mind doesn't understand it, it is part of our evolution. So if you would be kind enough to like, subscribe, and comment, I read all comments, and that helps the channel to grow. And if this resonated with you, please share it with someone who you think would also benefit from it. And I guess that's all I'll say. You have all of these links are down below in the show notes. So I'll close now and just say, remember to be the light you want to see in the world.